How Disney's Dying for Sex teaches us to live fully, courage, curiosity, and intimacy in the face of mortality. Why confronting mortality sparks deeper intimacy and braver choices. When you come face to face with mortality, everything changes. Decisions become clearer, desires grow louder, priorities rearrange. That's the starting point of Disney's Dying for Sex, a raw, funny, and heartbreaking podcast turned series that follows one woman's bold sexual awakening after being diagnosed with terminal breast cancer. But beyond the headline, Dying for Sex is a mirror. It reflects back how we all grapple with fear, shame, unexpressed desires, and the question, am I really living? If you've ever felt stuck in your relationship, disconnected from your body, or curious about exploring desire in a new way, especially after loss, illness, or a major life shift, this story holds powerful lessons. It's about what happens when you stop waiting and start living with fierce authenticity. How mortality unleashes desire and liberates the soul. Why facing death can ignite a more passionate life. There's nothing like mortality to strip life down to its essentials. When we stop pretending we have forever, we often start asking better questions. What do I really want? What lights me up? Why am I holding back? In Dying for Sex, we witness this transformation firsthand. The protagonist doesn't just confront her illness, she confronts the suppressed parts of herself, the ones that craved erotic adventure, deep intimacy, and freedom from shame. This isn't escapism, it's embodiment. And if you're someone who's been waiting for the right relationship, the perfect moment, or your fear to quiet down, consider this your invitation to start exploring what actually brings you alive. Mortality, real or imagined, can wake you up to who you really are beneath the roles and routines. Sexuality as a path to healing and self-ownership. How pleasure becomes an act of reclamation. Sex in Dying for Sex isn't just about bodies, it's about power, choice, and reclaiming identity after trauma. The show's main character explores BDSM, dating, and taboo fantasies, not because she wants to shock anyone, but because she finally feels free to follow her truth. Maybe you felt the same, a yearning to be bolder in bed or more honest in how you express desire, but you've held back due to shame, age, expectations, or fear of judgment. Here's the truth. When you choose pleasure for yourself, especially when life feels uncertain or fragile, it becomes a declaration. I matter. My body matters. My joy matters. If you've been through illness, heartbreak, sexual trauma, or years of silence in the bedroom, know that your desire for aliveness isn't selfish, it's sacred. Why curiosity deepens connection with yourself and others. Curiosity isn't just sexy, it's transformative. In the show, curiosity becomes a survival tool. It drives exploration, not just of lovers, but of emotions, spirituality, and the unknown. It's not reckless, it's reverent. Curiosity is the lifeblood of intimacy. Whether you're in a long-term relationship or navigating a solo journey of healing and rediscovery, asking bold questions like, what turns me on now? What am I still afraid to feel? What have I never allowed myself to explore? Can unlock profound shifts. If you're someone who has outgrown old patterns or who wants to understand your body or heart in new ways, nurturing your curiosity is essential. It's how you grow, it's how you heal, and it's how you finally start living on your own terms. Real courage means choosing vulnerability over perfection. Vulnerability isn't weak, it's the gateway to real intimacy. Throughout Dying for Sex, vulnerability runs like an electric current. We see it in moments of awkwardness, pain, humor, and deep truth-telling between best friends. We see it in naked confessions and uncomfortable firsts. And we see how deeply healing it can be to be seen in our mess, not just our masks. If you're someone who's learned to keep it together, to avoid rocking the boat, or to stay silent about what you really feel or want, this message is for you. Courage isn't about having no fear. It's about deciding that being real matters more than being perfect. Whether you're opening up to a partner, admitting a long-held desire, or exploring something new after years of disconnect, you're already being brave. How mortality reshapes intimacy and connection. Emotional intimacy becomes the priority. One of the show's most beautiful revelations is this: when death is on the table, superficiality falls away. Emotional intimacy, the kind built on honesty, presence, and shared meaning, becomes the new gold standard. Sex isn't just about mechanics anymore. It's about connection, aliveness, even transcendence. Maybe you're in a relationship where the spark has faded, or maybe you're yearning for a connection that feels less performative and more real. If so, take this as encouragement. The kind of intimacy that nourishes your soul begins with emotional truth. And truth starts with slowing down, tuning in, and being willing to show up fully, even if you're unsure how it will be received. What Dying for Sex can teach you about living fully. When you're ready to rewrite the rules, this isn't just a podcast or entertainment. Dying for Sex can become a lens to reflect on your own life. Whether you're questioning your desires, navigating a breakup, recovering from illness, or simply waking up to the fact that time is precious, this story meets you there. Ask yourself, what would I do differently if I stopped waiting? What part of me wants to be touched, seen, or heard? Where am I playing small out of fear or guilt? These aren't surface level questions. They're invitations to begin again, more honestly than before. You are not broken. You are becoming. This isn't the end of your story. It's a turning point. If you've been feeling disconnected from pleasure, ashamed of your needs, overwhelmed by change, or afraid that it's too late to experience deep connection, it's not even close. In fact, this could be the most important chapter of your life, the one where you stop living for others and start reclaiming your full, sensual, courageous self. Let Dying for Sex be a reminder that even in the face of death, there is room for joy, there is room for transformation, and there is still time to touch something real. Intimacy begins when you choose to wake up. As Dying for Sex so poignantly shows, confronting death doesn't have to be the end of intimacy. It can be the beginning of a more vibrant, connected life. If any part of you is aching for more, for deeper intimacy, richer pleasure, or the courage to live out loud, this is your moment. Let your curiosity lead you. Let your courage sustain you. Let intimacy, in all its messy, magical forms, be your guide home to yourself.